Hello and welcome to Storytime with Mr. Laws. Today we're reading some poems from 100 Best Poems for Children. Little Red Riding Hood and the Wolf by Roald Dahl. As soon as Wolf began to feel that he would like a decent meal, he went and knocked on Grandma's door. When Grandma opened it, she saw the sharp white teeth, the horrid grin, and Wolfie said, "May I come in?" Poor Grandmamma was terrified. "He's going to eat me up," she cried. And she was absolutely right. He ate her up in one big bite. But Grandmamma was small and tough, and Wolfie wailed, "That's not enough. I haven't yet begun to feel that I've had a decent meal." He ran around the kitchen, yelping, "I've got to have another helping," then added, with a frightful leer, "I'm therefore gonna wait right here till little Miss Red Riding Hood comes home from walking in the wood." He quickly put on Grandma's clothes. Of course, he hadn't eaten those. He dressed himself in coat and hat. He put on shoes, and after that he even brushed and curled his hair, then sat himself in Grandma's chair. In came the little girl in red. She stopped. She stared. And then she said, "What great big ears you have, Grandma." "All the better to hear you with," the wolf replied. "What great big eyes you have, Grandma," said Little Red Riding Hood. "All the better to see you with," the wolf replied. He sat there watching her and smiled. He thought, "I'm going to eat this child. Compared with her old Grandmamma, she's going to taste like caviar." Then Little Red Riding Hood said, "But Grandma, what a lovely great big furry coat you have on." "That's wrong," cried Wolf. "Have you forgot to tell me what big teeth I've got? Well, no matter what you say, I'm going to eat you anyway." The small girl smiles. One eyelid flickers. She whips a pistol from her knickers. She aims it at the creature's head, and bang, 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 she shoots him dead. A few weeks later, in the wood, I came across Miss Riding Hood. But what a change! No cloak of red, no silly hood upon her head. She said, "Hello, and do please note my lovely furry wolfskin coat." Kenneth, who was too fond of bubble gum and met an untimely end, by Wendy Cope. The chief defect of Kenneth Plum was chewing too much bubble gum. He chewed away with all his might, morning, evening, noon, and night, even, oh, it makes you weep, blowing bubbles in his sleep. He simply couldn't get enough. His face was covered with the stuff. As for his teeth, oh, what a sight! It was a wonder he could bite. His loving mother and his dad both remonstrated with the lad. Ken repaid them for the trouble by blowing yet another bubble. 'Twas no joke. It isn't funny spending all your pocket money on the day's supply of gum. Sometimes Kenny felt quite glum. As he grew, so did his need. There seemed no limit to his greed. At 10, he often put away 97 packs a day. Then at last, he went too far. Sitting in his father's car, stuffing gum without a pause, found that he had jammed his jaws. He nudged his dad and pointed to the mouthful that he couldn't chew. "Well, spit it out if you can't chew it." Ken shook his head. He couldn't do it. Before long, he began to groan. The gum was solid as a stone. Dad took him to a builder's yard. They couldn't help. It was too hard. They called a doctor, and he said, "This silly boy will soon be dead. His mouth so full of bubble gum, no nourishment can reach his tum." Remember, Ken, and please do not go buying too much you-know-what. Cats by Eleanor Fargen. Cats sleep anywhere, any table, any chair, top of piano window ledge, in the middle, on the edge, open drawer, empty shoe, anybody's lap will do. Fitted in a cardboard box, in the cupboard with your frocks, anywhere. They don't care. Cats sleep anywhere. Gran's 11 by John Kitching. My grandma's in a football team. Her age is 78. She's no longer like a palm tree standing waiting for a date. The goalie in my grandma's team, her age is 74. Opponents rarely score a goal. She's built like a grey barn door. The striker is a real antique, captain at 88. She's vicious, mean and fouls a lot, the kind of striker goalies hate. Two of Grandma's football team are quite acutely deaf. They shout and wave most rudely at every weekend ref. Most of Grandma's football team have aged, aching bones, but in the showers after games, no single player moans. The other week, a rare defeat. They lost 3-5, but they don't seem to care a lot. They're just glad to be alive. The Sound Collector by Roger McGough. A stranger called this morning, dressed all in black and grey, put every sound into a bag and carried them away. The whistling of the kettle, the turning of the lock, the purring of the kitten, the ticking of the clock, the popping of the toaster, the crunching of the flakes, when you spread the marmalade, the scraping noise it makes, the hissing of the frying pan, the ticking of the grill, the bubbling of the bathtub as it starts to fill, the drumming of the raindrops on the window pane, when you do the washing up, the gurgle of the drain, the crying of the baby, the squeaking of the chair, the swishing of the curtain, the creaking of the stair. A stranger called this morning. He didn't leave his name, left us only silence. Life will never be the same. On the Ning Nang Nong by Spike Milligan. On the Ning Nang Nong, where the cows go bong and the monkeys all say boo, there's a Nong Nang Ning where the trees go ping and the teapots jibber jabber joo. On the Nong Ning Nang, all the mice go clang, and you just can't catch 'em when they do. So it's Ning Nang Nong, cows go bong, Nong Nang Ning, trees go ping, Nong Ning Nang, the mice go clang. What a noisy place to belong is the Ning Nang Nong. Homework, oh homework by Jack Prelutsky. Homework, oh homework, I hate you, you stink. I wish I could wash you away in the sink. If only a bomb would explode you to bits. Homework, oh homework, you're giving me fits. I'd rather take baths with a man-eating shark, or wrestle a lion alone in the dark, eat spinach and liver, pet 10 porcupines, than tackle the homework my teacher assigns. Homework, oh homework, you're last on my list. I simply can't see why you even exist. If you just disappeared, it would tickle me pink. Homework, oh homework, I hate you, you stink. The Sea by James Reeves. The sea is a hungry dog, giant and grey. He rolls on the beach all day. With his clashing teeth and shaggy jaws, hour upon hour he gnaws the rumbling, tumbling stones, and bones, 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 the giant sea dog moans, licking his greasy paws. And when the night wind roars, and the moon rocks in the stormy cloud, he bounds to his feet and snuffs and sniffs, shaking his wet sides over the cliffs, and howls and hollows long and loud. But on quiet days, in May or June, when even the grasses on the dune play no more their reedy tune, with his head between his paws, he lies on the sandy shores, so quiet, he scarcely snores. Little Abigail and the Beautiful Pony by Shel Silverstein. There was a girl named Abigail who was taking a drive through the country with her parents when she spied a beautiful, sad-eyed, grey and white pony. And next to it was a sign that said, "For sale, cheap." "Oh," said Abigail, "may I have that pony? May I please?" And her parents said, "No, you may not." And Abigail said, "But I must have that pony." And her parents said, "Well, you can't have that pony, but you can have a nice butter pecan ice cream cone when we get home." And Abigail said, "I don't want a butter pecan ice cream cone. I want that pony. I must have that pony." And her parents said, "Be quiet and stop nagging. You're not getting that pony." And Abigail began to cry and said, "If I don't get that pony, I'll die." And her parents said, "You won't die. No child ever died yet from not getting a pony." And Abigail felt so bad that when they got home, she went to bed, and she couldn't eat, and she couldn't sleep, and her heart was broken, and she did die. All because of a pony that her parents wouldn't buy. This is a good story to read to your folks when they won't buy you something you want. Far Over the Misty Mountains by J.R.R. Tolkien. Far over the misty mountains cold, to dungeons deep and caverns old, we must away ere break of day, to seek the pale enchanted gold. The dwarves of yore made mighty spells, while hammers fell like ringing bells, in places deep where dark things sleep, in hollow halls beneath the fells. For ancient king and elvish lord, there many a gleaming golden hoard, they shaped and wrought, and light they caught, to hide in gems on hilt of sword. On silver necklaces they strung the flowering stars, on crowns they hung the dragon fire, in twisted wire they meshed the light of moon and sun. Far over the misty mountains cold, to dungeons deep and caverns old, we must away ere break of day, to claim our long-forgotten gold. Goblets they carved there for themselves, and harps of gold. Where no man delves, there lay they long, and many a song was sung unheard by men or elves. The pines were roaring on the height, the winds were moaning in the night, the fire was red, it flaming spread, the trees like torches blazed with light. The bells were ringing in the dale, and men looked up with faces pale. The dragon's ire, more fierce than fire, laid low their towers and houses frail. The mountains smoked beneath the moon. The dwarves, they heard the tramp of doom. They fled their hall to dying fall, beneath his feet, beneath the moon. Far over the misty mountains grim, to dungeons deep and caverns dim, we must away ere break of day, to win our harps and gold from him. The Day I Fell Down the Toilet by Steve Turner. The day I fell down the toilet is a day I'll never forget. One moment I was in comfort, the next I was helpless and wet. My feet tipped up to the ceiling, my body collapsed in the bowl. In haste I grabbed at the handle and found myself flushed down a hole. One wave goodbye to the bathroom and I was lost in the sewer, travelling tunnels and caverns on a raft made out of manure. Then came the washing up water with bits of spaghetti and peas, the filth from a local factory and an undiscovered disease. Drifting along in the darkness, there was nothing to do but wait. What would I say to my mum now? What was it that made me so late? Suddenly, it was all over. From the end of a pipe I shot into a part of the ocean where the rubbish was sent to rot. Glad to escape from the tunnel, to leave all pollution behind, I found a nice spot on the beach, then started to bathe and unwind. But bad things began to pursue me. They stuck to my feet and my hand. Wreckage was surfing the wave tops, and oil lay around on the sand. I figured the sewer was safer, for no one said sewers were clean. I found the pipe that I came from and waded my way back upstream. When I got home, I was shattered. I was filthy, ragged and wet. And rattling the bathroom door was Dad, saying, "You off that toilet yet?" When Betty Eats Spaghetti by Colin West. When Betty eats spaghetti, she slurps, she slurps, she slurps. And when she's finished slurping, she burps, she burps, she burps. The Magic Box by Kit Wright. I will put in the box the swish of a silk sari on a summer night, fire from the nostrils of a Chinese dragon, the tip of a tongue touching a tooth. I will put in the box a snowman with a rumbling belly, a sip of the bluest water from Lake Lucerne, a leaping spark from an electric fish. I will put in the box 3 violet wishes spoken in Gujarati, the last joke of an ancient uncle, and the first smile of a baby. I will put in the box a 5th season and a black sun, a cowboy on a broomstick and a witch on a white horse. My box is fashioned from ice and gold and steel, with stars on the lid and secrets in the corners. Its hinges are the toe joints of dinosaurs. I shall surf on my box, on the great high-rolling breaks of the wild Atlantic, then wash ashore on a yellow beach, the colour of the sun. I hope you enjoyed the poems. I'll see you after half term as we begin a new story.